little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle.
And so welcome to today's video. Welcome to Minsk, Belarus. And yeah, today at this point I'm right now by the Victory Square, actually where I'm living. And I thought, hey, let me take you along a little bit on my life here. So I ended up to spend a good amount of time here. At this point it's like 7 weeks, and also share with you a little bit, let's say, the cost of living here. And I gotta say, I totally fell in love with this area. In the past 7 weeks, what we did is we moved around, I believe at this point like 4 apartments or something, just because it was kind of like hard to get one apartment at a time. And at this point we settled down over there for 2 weeks. I'll show you how it is inside in a second as well. Okay, so as a little update right now, we're all dressed, about to leave the apartment, but I know you really like these apartment tours, so I thought at this point, living in Minsk over a month, this apartment, it's not the best, but it's kind of like my favorite as of right now. Why? Because of the location mainly, but I would say let me give you a little tour. So today I was moving around some stuff to kind of, let's say, make a little bit of a studio of it. I just filmed in front of the more or less white wall. You can see the videos on my second channel, but let's just walk out. Maybe I'll take it over for a second. We got the bedroom. Yeah, and last thing, just a nice and bright kitchen. Maybe I took out the table to put it in a living room to do some work over there. But yeah, this is how I've been living for over a week now in this apartment. I'm gonna stay for another 10 days minimum, just because it's a really good deal. Soviet building. Basically just the apartments are nice. And I gotta tell you one thing. When I came to Minsk, it was kind of like a thing of, hey, I'm just gonna like stay here for some time, don't know how the city is gonna be, but I gotta say I was super surprised of how much I actually enjoyed it. The energy here is actually quite nice. When you're interested in terms of the whole, let's say, isolation and quarantine situation, that maybe for a different video, I addressed it in the Q&A before. We arrived and it was still, you could say, the winter. I came back from, let's say, more of a tropical country, got myself off of here. It's like -2, -5 now, as you can see. Finally, trees are starting to open up and I really get to, let's say, experience the city in a different way. And like the past few days I've been crazy about it. Every day I walk around, I'm like a little old grandpa, like, watch at the trees, they're opening, life is coming back into the city. No matter what, actually surprised me of how nice, aesthetic, especially clean the city is. So definitely worth, maybe not just traveling, but maybe even staying for some time here, and happened to be that that's what I was doing.
Right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the
Alrighty guys, so good morning, starting out, beautiful sunny day right now here in Belarus. So my first stop, as it often is right now, either doing some work in the morning at home or grabbing a coffee. What is it, like 9:30 a.m. Gonna sip on a little cappuccino, do some editing, and then haven't been to the grocery store for a few days. Gonna take you there, and yeah, spring finally arriving here to its full extent, and it feels good. I thought, as of right now, I'm gonna be going through, let's say, some of my most favorite areas in the city. After 1 month, I kind of have like a little bit of a staple walk that I do. So right behind me is the old town of Minsk, you could say. It's kind of like a really nice, cool area. There's some restaurants, some cafes behind the lake. Back there is a church, also looks really, really cool. And this is kind of like my way home as of right now. And definitely something that I like about a lot about the city is that it is almost walkable for all the way. You have all the main areas pretty much within like a half an hour radius. And speaking of transportation, I just saw these bikes. I've been using them a few times. It's quite a new service, so it's like, let's say, not super cheap, like, I don't know, maybe like 50 cents for a ride, maybe $1 if you take it a little bit longer out. But the public transport, absolutely, like subway, it's actually pretty efficient. And what does it cost you at the end of the day? I believe 70 kopeek, which is yeah, like 25 cents. You can get all across the city. Taxis, but here in the city you can get away with a taxi, like, what is it? It starts at like 3 ruble, maybe if you go outside of the city it's 6 rubles, so it's like between $1 and $3. So yeah, that's not a problem. Just around a few corners, I would say another favorite area I absolutely love to stroll through, the Opera Theater. The park in the past few days have been absolutely amazing, especially on sunny days, starting to really bloom, flowers everywhere. And yeah, the Opera Theater looks actually quite, let's say, sensational in some way. Alrighty, when we speak about shopping, what can I say? For the most part, obviously, we're Eastern European countries, so it's definitely less than, let's say, in Europe and Germany. Especially meat and milk products, like we're getting some chicken breasts here, super affordable.
Get your Coke.
My Coke, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Camera off.
Turn on?
Turn the camera off. This is not for the camera here. It's one of the favorite things whenever coming to a new country. So here, actually, in our area that we live, on very local supermarkets, so stacking up on the basics, veggies, cooking a lot of home. You already have apples?
Yeah, but I don't. Well, the price went up.
Huh?
We can get apples.
The price went up, huh?
Yeah.
They went up like by 20.
Yeah, that's insane.
Who's the cheap ass behind the camera?
Capitulating a little bit too much. Showed up, man. My wife didn't.
So, sitting down here, doing some editing, and as this is supposed to be, let's say, a little bit of a cost of living video for anyone who's like closely interested, wants to travel here, maybe want to stay some time here. When it comes to the groceries, I gotta say, it was a little bit more than I expected it. I heard that Minsk, the capital city, is, let's say, a little bit more expensive still yet. Probably I would estimate 20-30% less than I would be spending in Europe. I'm just getting the basics. I think I roughly get by, when you look at the month, like $150, maybe $200, so that's not a lot at all. Biggest expense, as always, is the living. As I mentioned before, right now is a little bit of an exceptional situation, and a lot of people, there's not a high demand, so it's good to contribute a little bit. So I'm, let's say, renting a few places yet for a better deal. On average was between like $15 and $25, so around $20 per day, $600-700 on the whole month divided by 2. Like during the season in summer it will be probably much more, in the winter probably around this money actually, as for the people that I talk with about that. Going out, obviously this time haven't done it much, maybe 1 or 2 places. I will actually have some footage at the end from the public library. There I still have long hair, that's like a little bit a week or 2 ago. This video is a little bit all over the place. Just took some time off from vlogging for the most part, not going out that much at all. But restaurants, I gotta say, even though obviously quite empty right now for anyone who is interested for the whole situation here, I mentioned it in a previous video, quite affordable, I gotta say. Like meals, $3, $5, $6, maybe like that. Most expensive fancy restaurants are kind of like on a European level. And for that I didn't spend too much, maybe like $50 the whole month. That's just free time activities, transportation around $20 probably, taking taxis, super affordable as mentioned. So total cost of, let's say, living here for me, as I calculated in my finances as I always do it, is around $600. Could have been much more if I would, let's say, would do like free time activities here, which was not the case right now at all. Possibly actually you could spend maybe even a little less than that. Alrighty guys, and that interesting looking thing behind me, that is the National Library. Yep. Alrighty guys, we made our way up to the Graf Cafe, and it is on top of the public library of Minsk. Some of the traditional food here, we're gonna be having some draniki. It's kind of like potato pancakes and oladyi with what is it? Yep. The portion. We will go up. Later, going to the 23rd floor of the National Library. You scared?
Yeah, come here. Come here.
Does it look cool?
No.
That sucks. And so with that, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Minsk. I'm gonna be staying here for a little longer. If you want to see anything specific, let me know. As always, if you want to stay up to date what I'm up to right now, connect me on the Instagram. Smash the thumbs up button if you haven't yet. We're gonna see each other very soon.
Whoa, hold on just a little.